Hello and welcome to the Sunday Afternoon Modular. On today's menu is the Noise Engineering Xer Mixa and the Cosmotronic Cosmix Pro. I do know noise engineering now for quite a while and also have quite a few modules. They are doing great stuff. And I believe Cosmotronic is a rather new company. They're also making cool modules. I already can see people watching this video in 10 years and commenting something like, "No, it's an old company, they exist since." Well, I love YouTube. Like on one of my older videos where someone commented that my hand is in the way and I can't see shit. Well, it's kinda hard turning the knobs of a module without using my hand, isn't it? Or another comment which I believe has been deleted by the user, which was on the qubit prism. Well, it's definitely no Strymon. No, it's not, it's the qubit prism. Well, this is YouTube, my friends. If you follow my channel for longer, you might know that I'm not a huge fan of digitally controlled modules with less knobs but a ton of functions. And you will hear it again in this video, but that doesn't mean that it is not good. It's just not how I like to work. Now, this is not this versus that mixer video, so I don't say Mixer 1 is better than Mixer 2. Mixer 1 might be better for what I am doing, but Mixer 2 might be better for what you are looking for in a mixer. I don't own the Xer Mixa, but I have a Cosmix Pro. Both mixers are available in either silver or black. The Xer Mixa is quite a big module with 32 HP. The Cosmix Pro is 16 HP, so the half of the Xer Mixa. The Xer Mixa has 8 stereo channels and 2 aux inputs A and B that can be used for multiple applications. You can extend it with the Expando Expandy module that gives you 8 CV inputs. So you can control different parameters such as volume, mute, pan, send A and send B with a control voltage. The Cosmix Pro gives me 6 channels, where 4 of them are mono and 2 are stereo. It's a straightforward and easy to use mixer. Now, this is solely my preference, but I am not a huge fan of those one knob controls everything modules. So, where I have a small screen, tons of functions and menus, and a few knobs or buttons to control it all. For instance, I prefer the Cosmix Pro that has a panning knob for each channel. I can easily see how the channels are panned and adjust them accordingly, and not having to go through a menu channel by channel to see where I panned it. The Cosmix Pro has a mono, aux 1, and a stereo send return, which is aux 2. You can use send returns to send your audio signal through an effects module, may it be reverb, delay, distortion, an equalizer, or a compressor. The aux 1 and aux 2 knobs you see on the Cosmix Pro are like a dry-wet mix function. So I can crank my effects module fully up, but only add a little. Again, I like the Cosmix Pro more because I have dedicated knobs for aux 1 and aux 2 for each of the channels. Channel 5 and 6 are stereo, hence you can only send them to aux 2. Make sense? Alright. Now on the Xer Mixa, I have to select the channel and navigate through the menu screen. I just don't find it as intuitive as having a dedicated knob. But on the other hand, the Xer Mixa is a more advanced module. As you see, we have in and output channels A and B. Those can be used as aux buses, so for effect send and return for instance, you can set if the effect sends are pre or post fader, there is a Q mode available, and so on. So that's the cool thing about digitally controlled modules, that you have a lot more options and can configure it to your needs. Again, I am not a fan navigating through menus with 1 or 2 knobs on a small screen, but this is just me. Maybe the functions that the Xer Mixa brings are exactly what you are looking for. For my needs, a simple mixer like the Cosmix Pro does it. Now to the mute function per channel. The Xer Mixa has switches, the Cosmix Pro buttons. This is really up to your preference. I can work with either, so both options are totally fine with me. The Cosmix Pro has the audio level meters for each channel as well as the main mix. They look nice, but they don't help a lot in my opinion. Just a clipping LED would also have been fine. The Xer Mixa has an LED in each slider that lights up brighter the more you put the volume up. This also looks nice. Just a clipping LED would also have been fine. There is further metering available on the little display. You hear it, I'm not a big fan of those little displays. The MFX effects module, for instance, from ALM Busy Circuits, is a really great effects module. But having to navigate through a tiny screen with a push encoder, well, you know the story by now. At least better than the tip-top C5000 module that only shows you the current effect with the 3 backlit knobs on top. But don't get me wrong, it's also a great effects module. It's just I like it intuitive. This is why I usually take simple reverb, delay and distortion modules instead of multi-effects modules. Again, this is not because the modules are bad, it's just it does not fit into my workflow. I want to turn knobs as my sound evolves and not work through any menus. The Xer Mixa has a MIDI in and output feature. This lets you control the functions of the mixer with a MIDI device. So the dedicated pan knobs for each of the channels which I am missing, I could connect a MIDI device that has 8 pan knobs to the Xer Mixa and voila, control it like this. Or probably also control it with a computer application that can send MIDI data. What I miss on both mixer modules is a headphone out. So what I do with my Cosmix Pro, it goes to a Bifaco output module. Last but not least, the price. The Xer Mixa costs more as twice as much as the Cosmix Pro. Of course, it's more complex, has a built-in screen and so on. But it's just a mixer. Eurorack modules are often very expensive. It's not a cheap hobby. I'm sure manufacturers do their math. Sometimes I don't know how legitimate prices are or if they just add on top because people pay it. Of course, there are a lot of small manufacturers that don't do mass production, and you also pay for the whole design and development of a module, time people spend in creating and building a module, not only the parts used. I, for my part, like to support those small manufacturers, even though Eurorack has become very popular in the last years. But this topic is a never-ending story, and we could discuss forever about it. Ultimately, you have to decide if it's worth it for you. It's your hard-earned money. But more important than that, you need to make sure that it fits your needs. Do you need a mixer module for working in the studio? Do you need it for live applications? How many channels do you need? Mono, stereo, effects and returns, and so on. Does the module bring what you need, and does it fit in your workflow? I think this is the most important thing. If you use your modular synth in a home studio, do you need a mixer module at all? I have a couple of output modules so that I can route all channels to a separate input of my recording interface, record each instrument to a separate track, and then I can mix everything in my DAW. It is like compressor modules that are becoming more and more popular. Maybe in a live application it makes sense, I don't know. I have one compressor module, tested it once and never used it again. I record my stuff into my DAW and can use a compressor plugin there. Or I also have some 500 series modules where I have some preamps, EQs and compressors for tracking. So do I need all that stuff as a Eurorack module? For me, it's a no. But as said, I mainly work in my home studio, so I don't have the need having that in my Eurorack system. Maybe some EQs here and there are nice to shape a synth sound. Alright, that was it for this video. I hope it was not too much of a rant about digitally controlled modules. I usually try not to be judgmental, but in this video I just wanted to bring in some of my own opinions. I would be interested in your opinion, how you see this. Are you like me, that likes it simple and intuitive? Or do you like those digitally controlled modules because they bring you more options and flexibility? Let me know in the comments. If you made it through the video until here, thank you very much. If you enjoy my videos, I would be very happy if you leave a like and become a subscriber. So long, have a great day, evening or night, and see you next time on the